so much, everyone. It's also a privilege to segue into a very important panel discussion that is coming up. And having this opportunity to introduce the social impact arm of the CSRBOX group, the BharatCares as an implementation arm. Our focus is to define a project, to strategize, and to implement it in a holistic, sustainable manner. And I'm going to take you through a series of stories, through pictures, and how we get it done and how we deliver doing better. Next, please. While our areas of impact are in several thematic areas, today we are going to focus on one such area, which is nutrition, adolescent girls' health. While all the values that I'm going to talk about next are across the several areas that you see here, including youth, skilling, environment, rural infrastructure and holistic development, road safety, another flagship program that we lead, entrepreneurship for women and for students. One very strong ethos that we stand by is to be able to align with the government priorities from the get-go. This priority alignment is across all our projects that we implement on ground with a presence of 24 states in India. While our focus in education remains in STEM, we are also focusing very much on the 21st century skills that are required for the youth for employability. These skills also focus on artificial intelligence, STEM education through do-it-yourself kits that the students otherwise do not have access in laboratories in their schools. We also focus on integrated development approach. The story is to be able to empower, equip, enable, and empower several segments of the society, including students, youth, job seekers through skilling initiatives, adolescent girls through our nutrition and adolescent girls leadership initiatives, pregnant and lactating women, and women entrepreneurship through our women entrepreneurship and enterprise development initiatives. With this, we see some of the examples of how we are focusing on several segments and several stakeholders of the group through one single program. The behavior change that we also try to bring in the community is to be able to sustain the program in the future. The first slide that spoke about the government alignment helps us also build an accountability for the communities, the government, and the members of the community to take forward the initiative. With this, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our next panel discussion that is going to focus on the lines of nutrition, and we are very fortunate to have Bhomik Shah, who's founder and CEO, who's going to share about impact for nutrition and how our organization plays a role into impact for nutrition. Bhomik, please welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. I know I'm standing in between the panel, but I want to set that context. Can we get these lights slightly dimmed? Both of these. Thank you. I'm headquartered in Ahmedabad. Most of you know it. Almost 65 employees in Ahmedabad office as of today. We did one anemia test for all our employees in the last month, in September, Poshan Mah. We run anemia-based program for external community. We run programs for social sector, right? We understand the problem from the from that perspective of health perspective, from the perspective of how anemia affects other kind of social sector projects and program as well. Despite that, we found 36% of our employees severely anemic. Trust me. This is very high number. And all of us work in healthcare programs, right? We have employees. Just imagine that organization which is already working on nutrition and fairly good paid employees, right? Not like fairly good paid, right? Consulting arm. With this kind of employee base, if we have 36% of employees under that category, just imagine the problem that India has with the entire workforce. Impact for Nutrition was set up as a platform to understand the problem from the perspective of this entire workforce, plus workforce ultimately going home and then looking at their home, that how this problem is more intense than just about anemia, and then looking at India as a country, how we are probably getting internally challenged because of this problem. If you are not able to understand and address this problem, there are many social and development indicators which are not going to give the output and outcome which is expected. We know the fact, we know the solution, but probably that sensitization which is required, that communication gap which is there about addressing the grassroots problem of entire social sector, especially the health, education. If you are not able to address nutrition ka problem, we are not going to really address the issue which we are going to address through the education program, through healthcare intervention, or even skill development. I'll cite another example. One of our large partner working on skill development program, a corporate foundation. They have very large skill development program, 30,000 trainees per year. Their recruiters are large financial sector companies. When those recruiters found that a certain set of employees coming from training program, good number of employees are not able to deliver as per the expected output in the work profile. When they did some deeper research, they found that most of the employees are anemic. We went back to the foundation and told them this is the problem which is coming. Then they started a nutrition sensitive skill development program. And this is a large conglomerate. I cannot take the name. So what I'm trying to say, probably this is a problem which we understand, but we are not getting the headways or roadways to address it in the right way. That's where the Impact for Nutrition plays a vital role, which was set up in 2019 as a platform to work with companies and help them understand that how they can work on nutri-sensitive and nutri-focused program, be it through CSR or be it through their mainstream business practices. The platform, which started with 3 companies in 2019, today has 450 companies placed with the platform. It was set up with support from UNICEF as an incubator. CSRBOX and Sight and Life were the 2 co-founders in terms of setting up the entire platform in India. As of today, there are 450 companies with 4.7 million employees who are committed to that they will work towards nutrition program or nutri-sensitive program for their employees and for the community. This entire data takes us to 120 million numbers. But this is all about sensitivity and awareness. What we're trying to do is, how do we create projects and programs which ultimately feed into nutri-sensitive canvas, which does mean that if you are doing an education program, how do you include 5-6% of the project indicators or interventions towards nutrition? And I will give you a very simple example. If you are investing 1 crore rupees for 10 schools to modernize them, to create the infra for that, or to invest in soft intervention in the school, but when 1/3 of your students are anemic, no matter how much effort you put in for their education and development, for their education output, you will never be able to achieve the desired outcome. Give me one program which will be able to do it with this, especially in the rural setting where you have children with anemia and other kind of problems. So this is a platform which is working with companies to help them understand this entire problem and then find solutions. What we try to do is probably, one, we also help CSR head to create that narrative within the organization, which is very crucial. It's very difficult to convince the board about nutrition program interventions. So we also try to do that by helping CSR leaders to set that narrative within the organization, that how do you convince your leadership to create projects and programs which are about nutrition. We work with companies for their employees, employee and workforce related nutrition program. There are many EVP modules which has been developed. And we also work with companies to create nutri-focused and nutri-sensitive program. One or two of the programs presented by Nishita are part of I4 and Umbrella. I will take a pause and then I'll pass it on to the session to take up because Shubhrajyoti is there, will take the lead on impact for nutrition and will talk about what we are doing and what is there in future. Thanks a lot.